I'm going to talk about two different things to do with music, really. I'm going to talk about writing instrumental music for film and TV, which is one of the things that keeps me busy. And I'm also going to talk about songwriting. And I know that was something when I was starting out, I just wanted as much information as possible about how do I get into this? What do you do? So I played in bands for a long time when I was younger. We'd go into a recording studio and there'd be an engineer and a desk, and I didn't know what was going on technically. I didn't care about microphones. I didn't really understand the recording technology. I just was a musician, and we wrote songs and we played, and it was someone else's job to record us and capture all that. And sometimes I'd been involved in creating instrumental music, but and when I was at school, when I was in 4th or 5th year, I joined a folk band. I was put together with a teacher at the school, made us form a folk band. And I used to write tunes for the folk band. And so I'd written instrumental music and I'd been in a recording studio, but I was in no sense a recording engineer. And what I wish I'd known when I was younger was that most people who are composers are engineers. But most people we know writing music now for film and telly, they're sitting at a keyboard plugged into their computer, and they're using technology and MIDI and samples and creating the music that way. They may record it with an orchestra or real musicians later, but the music's getting written on that technology. And I didn't know that. I had no interest in learning how to the engineering side of things. And I had a MacBook that had GarageBand, which is a free recording app, of course. And I kind of started doing little loops and plugging in a wee USB keyboard and making instrumental tracks. And I got a bit of a feel for that. And then someone said, well, if you're doing GarageBand, the next step up is Logic Pro, which is now Logic Pro X. And I bought Logic Pro X from my computer, and I got the sample library that comes with it. And then I started creating music that way. And all of a sudden you've got string samples and brass and clarinets and timpani drums and harp. And you can cobble something together, which maybe isn't going to fool anyone into thinking it's a real orchestra, but you're learning a little bit about how the different sounds of classical instruments fit together, what the ranges are and all the rest of it. Here's a songwriting checklist that I would give my class, and I'm just going to talk through this briefly, and then I'll see if anyone's got any questions. We'll pretty much be at the end of this. I realise there's been quite a lot of information to take in, but we're nearly there. So, when you're writing your song, is it the correct rhythm? So, this is maybe something to discuss with the drummer and the bass player. Is it got that boom da boom boom ba? Is that the rhythm it needs? You can change a song quite dramatically by just changing the rhythm of how it's played. Famous Bob Dylan song "Like a Rolling Stone." That's a song that's in 4/4. You would count it off 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba-da, da-da-da-da. Once upon a time, I dressed so fine. Da 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 da. One, that there's a version of that when he's sitting at a piano playing it in waltz time. So it maybe started off as 3/4, and then he worked it through with the band and gave it a more straight ahead rock beat. Is your song in the correct tempo? Is it too fast to sing? Is it too slow? Is it dull and boring? Sometimes there's a sweet spot where a song just swings, pops, or whatever, and it's not about playing it as fast as you can. You lose something if it's fast song becomes too fast. It doesn't swing anymore, and it undermines itself. So playing around with the tempo of a song can change the experience. Is the song in the correct key? This is an interesting one because I've been in bands, and it must go on all the time, where bands go into the studio and start recording a song, and they've ran through it in a rehearsal studio with everyone yelling, but once once you're in a recording studio and everything's under the microscope a little bit and the tracks are getting laid down, you've got your drums, your bass, your guitar, your keyboards, your singer's been singing a rough vocal. When he goes to do the final vocal and sing it, it might be just a bit too low for him to sing it well. Or it might be just a bit too high for him to sing it comfortably. And you realise, we've recorded this in not the best key for the singer. I wrote it in G, the chords came in G, G, E minor, C and D. We all, that's how I can't play the black notes in the piano, so it's all the white notes, so it's in C, so for whatever reason. The song might be written in one key, but then maybe you have to think about changing the key so that the singer can sing it as well as best he can. So you might get the capo out or whatever on your guitar, or transpose the song to the correct key, not just the first key it was written in, and that's that, because that might not be the best key for the finished song. Is your melody strong? Is it interesting? The band I play with, Teenage Fan Club, they write the tune, the music, the melodies first and the words later. And one thing that ensures is that when you're building up this track and all you're really getting is la 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 la, some la la tune, it's going to be melodic. It's got to be melodically strong on its own before you hear the words. So that's something particular to their work method, but it's something to think about. We may come up with a tune. It's no bad thing to respond to inspiration and see what comes, but then it's no bad thing to stop and go back over what came in a flash of inspiration and see, with a more cool head and a bit of distance, how can we tweak that and make it better? Is the melody interesting enough? Are the chords the correct chords? Sometimes you can, like with back to the Harry Pie song. Let me see. Back to my Harry Pie song. I could sing, I knew a girl from Macclesfield, the love I had for her was real. But I think it's more interesting than that. I prefer to that. Similar versions of the same chord, and that is more interesting than that. Subtle differences, I agree, but that first chord is a G major 7 instead of a G. This gives it something that doesn't. That sounds like busking in the street with buses going past. This sounds a bit like listening. Something you say. So yeah, does our song have the correct chords? The best chords? Can the chords be better? Oops, don't want to go to that yet. Sorry. So the chords correct. Can they be better? Can they be more interesting? Are they too jazzy? Should they be simpler? Is this a 3-chord pop song and we don't want flattened ninths and diminished chords? Do we just want C, F, and G? We've got riffs in our song, maybe. Are they strong? Could they be tweaked? Could they be better? Are they in the right place? Should the song start with the riff? Should the song start with the chorus? The bits that will hook people in, have we left it to the end of the song? Someone switched off before they got to it. Do we need to think about presenting the riffs and the hooks that are interesting, that are the earworms that will sell the song? We have to think about where they are presented in our structure. Our production and arrangement, is it appropriate, interesting, effective? I never knew what a producer was for the longest time, and now I know a producer does all sorts. He'll say, I don't like that song, we're not recording it, and then you have a battle about that. Or he can say, I think the words aren't strong enough, or it's too slow, or it's the wrong key, or how would you feel about, instead of a guitar solo, having a trumpet? Or how about we don't use drums on this track? Or how about hand claps in the chorus? How about harmonies in the second chorus but not the first one? why don't we take that bit, put it at the end and repeat it, and that's our outro. He'll come, I know a great string player, he could do a string arrangement for this. Producer can bring all sorts of ideas to the arrangement, hopefully all the time serving the song well and making it more interesting. Often when we listen to songs, we listen to the production. The production of a song is what can sell it. So is our production appropriate, effective, best it can be? Is the song dynamic? Is it loud from start to finish? Does it have ups and downs? Does it have a bit when it kicks in? If you listen to Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, that wee thin intro guitar just sets up for the drums and the bass and everything to kick in later on. You need that dynamic shift for it to sound exciting. If you took that little weak start off, it would be a different listening experience. You'd lose some of the dynamic. Is the chorus strong and memorable? Is the structure correct? Does it have too many verses? Does it not have a chorus when it should have? Does it need a middle eight? Does it not need a middle eight? Has it got two middle eights when it shouldn't have any? Are your lyrics cliched? Are you finding an interesting way of expressing yourself? Are you saying what everyone else says? Another song exercise I sometimes say is write a love song but don't mention the word love. So now your lyrics have got to convey love without saying love. I love her. Why? Explain the reasons. And the song becomes an explanation of the reasons why. Yeah, why obviously this person loves the object of the song, but they don't specifically use the word love. So the lyrics have got a lot of work to do then to express love in a fresh or interesting or funny or engaging way. Does the spirit of the song ring true? Are you just writing something because that's how you think it's meant to sound, or are you really conveying something? Tracy Ann Campbell from Camera Obscura talks about writing songs as being a way of sorting things out. Almost that they have to be written to express something that's maybe cathartic in writing. Do you ever listen to a song and think, he doesn't even mean that, he's singing it, but it just sounds like paint by numbers. Sincerity is not enough. But I love you, I love you, I love you. Great, but how about telling me that in a more interesting way? Because every other song's about that. What's your interesting way of making this truth engaging? So is the idea of the song conveyed effectively? Is it okay, or is it just great? Because really, when it comes down to it, we want something that people will say. If your pals ever said, you need to hear this song, you'll love it. I love this song, you've got to hear it. That's what you want. Your pal will never ring you up in the middle of the night and say, listen, I heard this song today and it was okay. I think you should hear it. That will never happen. So you want to write the song that someone else says, I love that, you need to hear this. They'll do the work for you. So is your song just okay, or is it great? I'm going to finish with this. Somebody in a class once asked me, what's the most important piece of advice? And I thought, what a question. And then I thought, well, actually, when I think about it, I suppose it makes you think, why not me? We think a lot of things in life other people do. Other people pass a driving test. Other people get married or have kids, or other people work in TV, or other people write songs or go on stage and sing, or other people do this and that. But other people do it until you do it, and why shouldn't you be a songwriter, or why shouldn't you be a lyricist, or why shouldn't you be on stage, or why shouldn't you have a go at writing music for a film? Why shouldn't you make your own film? Everyone that does anything to any level, they had to start somewhere to figure out what you do. And the ones that turned back and said, oh, that's not for me, well, we never get to find out what they did. So why not me? I'm not classically trained. And that Paddington documentary would have get made with me or without me, but why not me? Why don't I find out about this and try and get better at it, and then start trying to tell people that I exist and kind of send them some ideas. So whatever you choose to do, there's no wrong path. And I certainly didn't know what I wanted to do when I was in 5th or 6th year at school. But keep doing something. And that experience will help conversations and will help lead to things that you can't even dream of just now. But do something, because, why not you? Why not pick the dream job, but figure out the steps to get to that point? Why not you? No reason. Only thing stopping you maybe is you.